Good afternoon everyone and welcome to BBC Sports coverage of the Women's Super League. Today's offering for you here on the red button and the BBC Sports website and app. Everton, managerless and bottom of the WSL, up against the juggernaut that is Arsenal. Top of the division with a 100% record. The pressure is well and truly off the young players of Everton, who, if they get anything from today, it would be a truly magnificent result. Some familiar faces between the two teams, and that is the main woman that Everton are going to have to watch out for, Vivianne Miedema. So a baptism of fire for interim manager Jennifer Hurst. We'll hear from her in just a moment, before Arsenal manager Joe Montemurro.
Oh, look, every game's difficult for us. It's not about what we've done. It's about what we need to do. And as I said, another important test today, a very, very important test. And the remaining games for this part of the season are very, very important to us. So again, another massive challenge for us.
It's been a tough week. It's been an emotional couple of weeks since Andy's departure, but we've just tried to get the girls working hard and focusing on the Arsenal game today. The top of the league, we know that it's going to be a tough test.
They've got a point to prove. They've got, they're a very good team. They've got some very good players, and it's unusual that they are where they are, and what's happened has happened, and we need to be very, very careful of these circumstances.
I think we're aware that we're probably not going to have the ball as much as we would like to today, but we're just going to look to capitalise on any opportunities that may come our way, and put in a strong performance and work together as a team and work really hard.
Yeah, look, it's the load management's crucial now at the moment, because we're getting players coming back in all sorts and all emotional situations, in all emotional states. So we have to really look at how we're going to look at that. And look, the game's going to determine that. If we're on top and in control, we can probably look to do things. If the game goes another way, then we have to look at other options. So yeah, the game's going to determine how we're going to look at that management.
Joe Montemurro and Jennifer Hurst there speaking ahead of this game, Everton against Arsenal. Let's have a look at the Women's Super League table ahead of this game. One game played yesterday with Bristol City beating Liverpool, and as you can see, Arsenal sitting pretty at the top, a game in hand over their nearest rivals Manchester City, and 3 points ahead of them, and a terrific goal difference as well. And if you cast your eyes down to the bottom, Everton rock bottom of the division, with a game in hand though, 2 points from their opening 6 games. So ahead of this game, the two teams warming up. Chloe Kelly there for Everton, who made a surprise appearance for the senior England team over the international break, coming on as a late sub against Austria, and we're hoping to make a big impact against her former club in Arsenal, who she signed from last January. And as we mentioned, the big player on top form, Vivianne Miedema, for club and country, helped the Netherlands to the World Cup, beating the Swiss in a playoff, and is also the WSL's top scorer with 11 goals already this season. Alongside me for commentary this afternoon, Sue Smith. And Sue, let's start with Everton. What a couple of weeks it's been, in real turmoil and a real shock really. Apart, maybe yes, the results haven't been great, and that loss to Yeovil may have just been the final straw, but Andy Spence, he's part of the furniture at Everton. It was still quite a surprising move to see him leave.
It was. I think he's been there for 15 years in some capacity, so it's always difficult as a player when you know a manager, whether he's your manager, whether he's your coach, you know him so well, and when he leaves, there is that, I suppose, uncertainty at the moment. They've got no real manager in at the moment. It's just the interim manager. There's a lot of young players. I think what they need now is some of those maybe experienced players to stand up and help them. You know, sometimes in adversity, though, teams do come together, and Everton will be hoping, because they desperately need a result, at least a good performance today against a very, very good Arsenal side. It's the last team that you want to play when things aren't going your way, when things aren't quite right. You don't want to be playing a team that is so in form like Arsenal are at the moment.
having said that, I know you said this is the last game you'd probably want, but the pressure is off, isn't it? No one's going to expect them to get anything from this.
And I suppose that's one way of looking at it as a player. You can think, well, I can go into this game, we're not expected to win, we're probably not expected to, I think that the manager actually said there, the interim manager, that we're probably not going to have much of the ball. So you go out there, you give absolutely everything, and you hope that something will happen. But Arsenal played 7, won 7. What is it? They've scored 34 goals, they've only conceded 4, and you just think that sort of record is unbelievable. So defensively, they're so solid, but then going forward, at times there's 5-6 players going forward, and the movement, the way that they interchange positions, it's so difficult to deal with, and the likes of Chelsea struggled against them. So you just think a side like Everton, who are young, who are very low in confidence at the moment, I think it's going to be a really difficult task for them today.
And just turning to Arsenal, the only thing that may just count against them, a lot of players on international duty, in particular the Dutch contingent, who played 2 very emotional, highly charged games against the Swiss. Lia Walti, who is starting today for Arsenal, captained the Swiss team against many of her Arsenal teammates and lost in the World Cup playoffs, so she'll be feeling, I'm sure, very down. Her team won't be going to the World Cup. A lot of, though, these players in the Arsenal team will be going with the Netherlands. So Joe Montemurro just touched on that in his pre-match interview there. It's very bit of a strange situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it must have been quite awkward when they first came back. I'm sure there wasn't much talking going on between the players, but it's totally different. You know, when I used to go away with international with the team, and then you come home to your club football, it is so different. They're now your teammates again, and I'm sure Joe will have made sure that his team are together, and they won't want to slip up against Everton today. They'll want to keep that good form like they have had.
And what incredible form Arsenal have been in at the start of this season. Played 7, won 7 in the league, 34 goals scored, 4 conceded, and if we count the Continental Cup as well, 46 goals scored in just 9 games. Frightening is the only word for that. And great to see so many Arsenal fans who've made the long trip up north to Southport for this game against Everton, who, as we mentioned, without a manager, bottom of the league. So, looking at a positive, the only way is up for them. Lovely crisp autumn day at Hague Avenue, Southport, as the pre-match handshakes are taking place. Let's run you through the 2 teams this afternoon then. Everton just 2 points from their opening 6 games all season, switched to a 4-4-2 formation, 4 changes to the side that were beaten by Yeovil in their last league outing. Turner, Stringer, Brunenberg and Baum are all out. Chantal Boyd-Lorca moves to left back, with Megan Finnegan moving to midfield alongside Agrad James. Georgia Broom comes in defence, and Hannah Kane and Simone McGill are the 2 forwards. 2 changes for Arsenal. There's only a second WSL appearance for Sari van Veenendaal in goal. Lisa Evans drops to the bench, with Dominique Bloodworth coming in at right back. Arsenal have injury problems themselves. Tabia Kemmer back in the treatment room, so they've had to name 2 teenagers on the bench in Ruby Grant and Paige Bailey-Gale. So there is the interim manager in relaxed mood there for Everton. Jennifer Hurst, the goalkeeping coach, uncertain how long she will be in charge for. We'll just have to wait and see, but we do understand Everton are searching pretty vigorously for a permanent manager sooner rather than later. Very important for them. No need for Arsenal though. Very settled Joe Montemurro, who has recently signed a very long-term contract with Arsenal after the success that he's brought to the club since joining midway through last season. And so the 2 captains exchanging handshakes, and coin in hand for the referee. No sign of the rock, paper, scissors controversy that has surrounded the women's game and penetrated into the whole of the football community. We understand there was a few referees that wanted to use the rock, paper, scissors method to show solidarity with the referee, who has been suspended because of his use of that in lieu of a coin toss. And the latest on that is that he has appealed his punishment, which for many have expressed their opinion that it was a bit harsh. Let's concentrate on the football though here. Everton kick us off against Arsenal, who are in their change kit. Sort of, I don't know, how would you describe that? Teal, Sue Smith?
Nice.
Hey?
I'm impressed with you. I was trying to think of a colour that was similar. Very nice.
I'm pretty pleased with that.
I'd just like them to have wore their red against blue.
They really could have done this afternoon, but that's a debate for another time. Yes. Volti comes forward, and here's Emma Mitchell. Give a shove off the ball by her former teammate Chloe Kelly. And Everton actually, at this very ground a few weeks ago, did exceptionally well to draw 0-0 with Chelsea. Of course, that was when Chelsea were struggling for goals, but they looked very organised, very disciplined, and it's going to have to be a similar story today, albeit against a much more potent Arsenal team. Miedemar just loses possession there.
Do you know, I was actually going to bring that up and say they did so well against Chelsea. They did look very organised defensively, and they worked so hard for that point. So I'm sure that will have been said in the team talk. You've done it against the top quality side, now let's do it again. And it's that whole thing of, this is our home ground, this is our fortress, we don't concede goals, we make sure that we're tight and compact, and just make sure there's not spaces for Arsenal to play in. Any sort of spaces they'll exploit.
Arsenal, the team to beat in this WSL season. Just a bit too much on that for Katie McCabe, who is becoming a regular fixture in this starting lineup now for Arsenal. Didn't really get too much game time when she first arrived at the club, the Republic of Ireland International, but is now featured in every single WSL game. And there is the Everton goalkeeper, Kirsty Lavelle, who didn't have her finest hour in that defeat against Yeovil, conceding that goal, which ultimately cost them their first win of the season. The first team, the final remaining team, I should say, who have yet to win a Women's Super League game. Everton so far this season. They have won in the Continental Cup, a 3-2 win against Reading. But it's been a real struggle, this campaign in the league so far for them. And it will be really interesting to see what manager they go for.
It will. And I think, you know, there's a lot of very good managers out there, and I'm sure they'll be probably going through that interview process already and having a think about who they want. And we mentioned it earlier, it's so difficult when somebody's been at a club for so long, and you know, his philosophy and his style is instilled on those players and on the club, and someone's going to have to come in and do something completely different, but maybe they needed that fresh start, that new approach.
It's good battling by Megan Finnegan. She's lost out though. Slips it through to Nobbs. First effort. Forces the goalkeeper into making the stop, Jordan Nobbs.
She's in absolute fine form, isn't she, Jordan Nobbs? Just that running from midfield, it's so difficult to pick up. And when you've got the quality of Miedemar that can find the pass, just couldn't quite get hold of it like she would have wanted to.
Bit of a frustrating game against Sweden, as most of the England team did in that 2-0 loss. It's a nice floated corner. Kelly brings it away. Oh, that's a lovely ball by Cagman, but McGill just couldn't quite sort her feet out.
It was just a big touch, came off her knee, and that's clearly what Everton are going to try and do. Sit back, be really tight and compact in that 4-4-2 formation, and then hit them on the counter, because they do have pace, and Chloe Kelly will probably be their main outlet in that respect.
There's Megan Finnegan. Spent the summer in France with the under-20s, who won a bronze medal. And has been pushed forward into midfield this afternoon. He's been playing more regularly at centre-half. There's Boy Lorca, who's usually a winger, who's playing at left-back today. It's good feet by Gabby George. Just going back to that half chance for Everton, that's going to be their main outlet, isn't it? Trying to catch Arsenal on the counter.
Yeah, it's probably their only way. You would think when Arsenal do, because that's what they do. They do commit players forward. Both the fullbacks will get forward, and usually they'll leave the two centre halves with Volti just protecting them, and the outlet is out wide. And like I say, they do have pace to be able to do that. But it's just about their quality then. You get an opportunity, you have to put it away.
And that's something that Everton have struggled with this season. The lowest scorers in the division after Liverpool got a goal yesterday, so just 4 goals from their first 6 games. Here's Mitchell. Now Beth Mead. Position she likes to take up. It's a good cross. It's straight into the path of Jordan Nobbs. Couldn't get it on target. That was a huge chance for Arsenal.
Jordan Nobbs will be disappointed. There's a second chance in the opening stages. Beth Mead, 1v1. Just gets a yard and gets the ball into the box. That's what she does. She'll isolate the defenders. Good delivery into the box, and you know the goalkeeper Lavelle just can't quite push it away from play. Pushes it back in, and yeah, Jordan Nobbs, with her quality, you would expect to at least hit that on target. You can see by her reaction, couldn't you? She knows.
And as you mentioned, in top form, 8 goals in the WSL so far this season. She scored 3 in the whole of last campaign. And is also having to take on even more responsibility in the absence of Kim Little, those two dovetailing so beautifully. And although they obviously have Volti and Van der Donk as well there in midfield, the prospect of a midfield pairing of Nobbs and Little, I can't really think of 2 better, especially at the moment in their form.
I don't think there was, and when Kim Little got injured, I think everybody was gutted in the football world, because it's such a shame, such a good player, and they had formed a very good partnership, but Arsenal seem to have so far been able to cope without her.
Joe Montemuro has an incredible record with this Arsenal team, an 80% win record since taking over, and just 2 Women's Super League losses so far, away to Chelsea and Birmingham last season, and of course one significant one in the FA Cup final at Wembley against Chelsea. Mitchell. Just can't quite keep that one in. You can see that Everton have been tempted to go for the long ball early on, but they have to be a bit more accurate than the ones they've played so far.
Yeah, it's just been a little bit overhit and a bit too straight. Needs to be it's got to be more of an angle to give those wide players a chance to get on the end of it. But the organisation so far in that 4 in the middle has been good. They're covering each other. There's little gaps in between the midfield, and that's something that they're going to have to keep up.
Lovely feet by Nobbs. Here's Williamson. Back to Jordan Nobbs. Early ball in. Oh, it's an awkward one, and the goalkeeper does just enough on that occasion. Here's Mead. Always looking to cut back on that right foot, and just sent wide by Miedemar.
Lavelle does enough here, doesn't she? I think it seems to just bounce right in front of her, and good delivery from Jordan Nobbs. She knows that Miedemar she'll be in and around. She'll get on the end of it if she can, and yeah, it's just enough for Lavelle.
It was actually just came off Broham, so nearly an own goal for Everton. Mitchell. Corner kick, first one of the game, and it goes to Arsenal. Faye Bryson, one of the many Everton players who've come through that academy. They do seem to develop young players with a great frequency into the first team, but maybe just one too many young faces in this Everton squad.
Yeah, you've got to credit Everton for that. They do bring some very good players through. For years they've done that, whether they stay at Everton, whether they go elsewhere, but yeah, it's something that they really pride themselves on. But yeah, you just wonder, do they need a bit more experience in there to just help those young players out?
Straight back to Jordan Nobbs. Mitchell stayed in, cleared. No blue shirt up there to take control of it.
Yeah, that's a problem with just clearing it like that. It's just going to come straight back at you. You just try and keep hold of the ball just for a little bit of time. Just, again, build your confidence up in the early stages. Get some touches on the ball.
Miedemar in a chase with Gabby George. I think she just fell over her own stride there.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for her against Gabby George. She's a good defender, good 1v1 defender. She's strong. She's deceptively quick. So I think it'll be a real battle between those two.
She was deployed at left back by Phil Neville against Austria, who admittedly were pretty average on the day, but she showed some brilliant surges forward down the left-hand side. Here's McGill. Opportunity for Everton. Back to Kane. Hannah Kane. Not far wide at all. A warning shot for Arsenal.
That will give Everton a huge amount of confidence. We said, you know, don't just clear the ball into no one. You know, they managed to keep the ball. A little bit fortuitous how it comes back to Hannah Kane, but manages to get the ball out of her feet and get a shot away and win her team a corner.
Van Veenendaal was not sure about that at all.
I think it might have sneaked in.
It's Chloe Kelly, the former Arsenal player, to deliver this corner kick. Boyle-Lorca's there, so's Gabby George. Just run out of play. Free header from Boyle-Lorca.
I think that's something that I'm sure Joe Montemurro won't be happy with. Boyle-Lorca was just left on her own, just couldn't really capitalise on it.
Just see little bits and pieces like that, passages of play that will see Everton grow in confidence. And at times this season, Arsenal have been 2-3 up by now, yeah. So all positives for Everton.
And that's something that they will have been desperate. Don't concede early, whatever you do. It's easier said than done against this Arsenal side that are absolutely unbelievable in front of goal. And say Jordan Nobbs will probably be disappointed with the two opportunities that she's had. Also tested the goalkeeper more.
That's impressive. Can hear him back in London. McCabe coming forward. Good shape from Everton.
Yeah, very good shape.
Lovely feet by Williamson. Just drawn the foul from McGill.
Yeah, I think when you're playing a 4 against a 3, you have to make sure that you come across and you cover, and as a wide player you have to tuck in and make it really tight. You know, I used to hate that as a wide player because I always wanted to be the one that would go forward, so I used to love a 4-3-3, but it can be very defensive if you play it right.
Georgia Brougham, who has a WSL winners medal with Manchester City. It's a good turn by McCabe, put out for a corner kick by Bryson. McCabe looks like she's leaving it for Jordan Nobbs. We know she's got a terrific delivery. Well, it's a good one and a good bit of goalkeeping from Lavelle, right on top of it. Another corner kick.
I think Arsenal are certainly testing Lavelle. They've probably seen the goal that she conceded against Yeovil, and Jordan Nobbs has put it right on top of her. She's got people in and around her, and she's able to get a good punch to that.
She made really good contact, didn't she? Yeah. They've shown faith in Lavelle after her error against Yeovil, and she's responded well so far. She will be busy this afternoon.
Yeah. You've got to show so much character as a goalkeeper. One mistake and you're highlighted completely, aren't you? You know, if you're a midfielder or a centre forward, or you make that mistake, it doesn't necessarily lead to a goal. So the fact that she's able to, so far, she's done well.
Another player who's come through the Everton Academy, has played every single minute of WSL action this season. Just sharing duties with Lizzie Durack, who's now at Chelsea last season. But yeah, I don't know who would choose to be a goalkeeper from my point of view.
Got to be a bit crazy, haven't you?
It's very admirable.
It is.
Not for me.
No, or me. Don't even like it when I go in 5-side.
I just say to the defenders, protect me, please.
Yeah, no shots.
No shots. Here's Mead. I'll try to thread it through. Nobbs. Well, that's a lovely looking ball. Just a bit too much for Miedemar. The bounce just took it away from her.
You see Miedemar's actually applauding the ball, the vision from Jordan Nobbs, and that's exactly what they have, that understanding, that relationship, that when Miedemar makes the run, she knows that the players that they have behind her, they can find her.
So other games going on today. Later on, Birmingham against West Ham United, 2 o'clock. The other 2 o'clock kickoff, Brighton against Reading, and Chelsea against Yeovil. All highlights tonight on the Women's Football Show, BBC One at 11 o'clock. It's That's nicely done. Just a little bit too much on that for Daniela van der Donk. And Lia Volti, the Swiss captain who won't be going to the World Cup in the summer, just missed out on the playoff. When I say just, they were soundly beaten actually over 2 legs by the Netherlands. So I'm sure she'll be feeling huge disappointment, won't she?
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure she'll have picked herself up now, because she's been vital for Arsenal's season so far. Probably goes a little bit unnoticed because she does that role of protection and breaking up, and won't get the headlines, but is real key to the way that Arsenal play. I'm sure she kicked a couple of the Dutch players in training.
Miedema, van der Donk, both in that starting lineup. Van Veenendaal on the bench, but back in the Arsenal lineup today. That's lovely play. Pass cut out by Kelly. And sent forward. Here's Kane. Finds McGill well. McGill might get onto her own pass here. Stumbling and nearly gets something out of pretty much nothing, Simone McGill. Really good play.
They've done all right, those two up top, because considering a lot of the service that they've had has been a long ball, they've had to create something out of nothing. And, Hannah Kane technically is very, very good, will want to get on the ball, make things happen. And you think Simone McGill probably is more of a will want to get on the ball and maybe come deep as that number 10. Holds the ball up well.
Kane's another really young player, just 19, and only her second start in the WSL. Her last one was against Chelsea in a 0-0 draw. She did really well, as did the whole Everton team. And they are continuing to grow in confidence here. Kelly's pass, though, cut out. And a chance for Arsenal to maybe cause some problems here. Another corner kick. Every time Arsenal have tried to play these balls and there's been an Everton player to intercept and block, it's been a very impressive display so far from Everton.
So far, so good.
Midway through the first half, Arsenal have had a couple of half chances, not too many clear cut. Perhaps Jordan Nobbs with the best one. Miedema, one of the targets here from this corner kick. It's again right on the goalkeeper, and it just lands on the roof of the net. That time. You can see what they're trying to do though, can't you?
It's clearly something that's been spoken about. Whether it's a free kick, whether it's a corner, put it right on top of Lavelle. Let's see how she copes with it.
But exposed now, Everton. Miedema, bustling her way through, goes down. She is absolutely furious. The referee waves away the protests.
It was a poor clearance initially from the goalkeeper, and straight away, good ball into Miedema. Quick touch. I think she got the ball. Again, you can probably see it better from this angle. So as Miedema goes through, that's actually a great challenge. Just gets enough on the ball, I think. Good decision.
Everton get away with that. That had to be perfectly timed, and fortunately for them, it absolutely was. Kelly, great turn away from Bloodworth. The referee's pulled it back. There's space here for the cross. McGill tried to take it down. It's Kargman again. Good give and go by Nobbs, but the return pass, way too much weight on it. Oh, the referee's got in the way. And could this be a little assist from the referee? Chloe Kelly can't find the run of Hannah Kane. It's obstruction, wasn't it?
It had to be. I tell you what, though, if Kelly had found Hannah Kane, she was through there.
Mead.
Arsenal just getting a little bit frustrated, and Everton will be happy with that. And a few of their passes are going astray. They don't look as fluid as I've seen them this season. That's credit to Everton and their shape and how they're pressing.
Nobbs. George picks it up. Miedemar. Mead picks up the pieces. Fires it across. Oh, what a save! Brilliant from Lavelle. We were just waiting for the ball to nestle in the back of the net. Terrific stop from Kirsty Lavelle. Here's Van der Donk. It's another good cross in. Nobbs. Couldn't find Miedemar. Arsenal turning up the pressure here. Everton survive.
Good pressure, wasn't it, from Arsenal there? They had a lot of the ball, and I was the same as you. I was just waiting for the ball to just nestle in the back of the net. Real agility there from Lavelle to get across and actually save the ball with her feet. She does well. Beth Mead, every time, like I say, she wants to isolate that defender, and she can go on the outside, she can go on the inside.
It's Katie McCabe with the opportunity. It's a similar chance, wasn't it, to yesterday's game with Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. You've got to credit the goalkeeper, of course, but really either side, and that would have been 1-0. Obviously wanted to take it first time, didn't she?
And you can see what she was trying to do. She thought the goalkeeper was running across, so could have hit it back, and say Lavelle did well to just get her foot out. But yeah, from a striker's perspective, you think I'm 1v1 with the goalkeeper, I should score, and they both Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and McKay will have thought exactly the same.
We'll show you the highlights from yesterday's game in the WSL between Liverpool and Bristol City. Free kick to Arsenal. Just a bit late from McGill. Nobbs to the back post, again well defended, and McGill comes away and draws the foul.
She works so hard, Simone McGill, helping her team out defensively, and then she has been an outlet, as has Kane.
Here's Mead. Van der Donk, pressurised, but keeps the ball. Flag is up. Well, Jennifer Hurst will be happy on 2 counts. One, that she's managed to steer her side to keep Arsenal at bay for the first half an hour, and also as a goalkeeping coach, she'll be absolutely delighted to see Kirsty Lavelle performing so well.
Yeah, she will have had to have done a lot of work with her since that Yeovil goal. She'll have been absolutely gutted with that. You know, not only has the team lost, but due to a mistake. And it happens to everybody, and the fact she's been able to pick herself up just shows great character. And like you say, I'm sure she's very pleased as a coach and a manager so far.
I think being fair to her as well, though, for Kirsty Lavelle, that goal went in midway through the first half, and Everton had ample opportunity to try and make up for that, and they just couldn't take their chances. And
oh yeah, you can't just completely say, you know, it was her fault, because they should have scored. They had the majority of the ball, didn't they, throughout that game? All of those shots that they couldn't score. It was certainly a collective. I just know as a player, you would blame yourself. You would feel that, you know, if only I could have kept that out.
James with the header forwards. Arsenal frustrated at the moment. When they have managed to get into good positions, they've been stifled by some good goalkeeping and brave defending as well. Here is Beth Mead taking on Bryson. Oh, very nearly a sensational touch from Danielle van der Donk.
What a goal that would have been. You know, her vision, her awareness of what's around her is fantastic. Beth Mead, you've got to, the fullback, she's getting isolated all the time, Bryson. You've got to help her out. And, you know, when Beth Mead plays the ball in, just to think about doing that, it's audacious, isn't it? Not a lot of players would even think of doing that. They probably would have tried to control it and play it out. Great effort. Again, Lavelle, equal to it.
Here come Everton. Hannah Kane picks her head up. Can't quite find Kagman. It's a good idea. And Kelly. It's a well-timed challenge, a robust one on Chloe Kelly. It's just not quite clicking for Arsenal, but I think that is credit to Everton.
Completely agreed. What I do like about him, though, is that he's a very good tactician. He's able to change things when he needs to. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see whether it's a change in personnel or a slight change or tweak in system if they need to in the second half.
Except you said change in personnel. They don't have an awful lot of options on the bench. You've got 3 teenagers. Lisa Evans, who is, we think, may have a bit of an injury. She missed the game against the USA for Scotland, and then the goalkeeper. So not too many options to change things up.
I suppose it's a great opportunity for those young players, isn't it, that have maybe come through the, you know, the younger age groups and just being with the squad, and it is valuable experience for them.
Finnegan is apologising, but that was a pretty late challenge on Danielle van der Donk, who really wasn't happy about this at all.
So late. I think Finnegan knew that van der Donk had got the beating of her there, and I don't think she got anything for it, so it's probably quite a clever foul.
Yeah, got away without a booking. Is Mitchell allowed to come forward? Again, passes not reaching their targets. Williamson.
Again, the shape though from Everton. Yes, you can say it's a poor pass from Williamson, but she didn't have any options. She looked up and it was just all blue shirts. You know, Everton aren't bothered about pressing the back line. Let them have it. We're just going to make sure when they get into our half, that's when we're in shape, that's when we're organised.
Mead seeing a lot of the ball on this left-hand side, but has been well shepherded during this first half. George nods away. Miedemar.
Though I do think Bryson needs a little bit of help, because I think when Mead isolates her, she tends to get by her. You get your wide player maybe just coming back, helping.
Again, great play by George. Not an easy task to keep Van der Donk at bay. Really good play by Gabby George. It's the first Everton women's player to sign a pro deal. And looks like a real star of the future, perhaps the next generation of England defenders after the likes of Horton.
Definitely. You know, she plays way beyond her years, doesn't she? She can bring the ball out from the back, but it's a defensive skills that I'm impressed with. That 1v1 defending. She doesn't seem to be phased who she's playing against. She doesn't care that Miedemar is scoring goals for fun at the moment.
It's a good ball by Williamson, and Finnegan just got there ahead of Nobbs. McGill's given it away. It's McCabe. It's well read. George comes away with it. And has continued her run. Great play by Gabby George. Gets a second bite of the cherry. McGill's there. And a tame effort in the end. But she was allowed to latch on to the ball from her own header, which is slightly concerning from an Arsenal perspective.
Good play from Gabby George. We were just mentioning her centre half, but went on a marauding run down the left-hand side and got a delivery into the box finally. And like you say, from an Arsenal perspective, allowing McGill that time and that space. She couldn't get hold of it, couldn't get any power on the shot, but yeah, they've got to do better.
It's Bloodworth. Mead. Balti. Sent in towards Miedemar. Again, the Everton defence wins out. They've lost it here. Great challenge by James. Hannah Kane is isolated up there. That's a great ball to Van der Donk. Some of the players were claiming handball. I think that was a bit of a desperate call.
Oh, you claim for everything as a player, just in case.
Don't think even they believed it, to be honest. Van der Donk. No way through at the moment.
You just need to move the ball quicker, in my opinion, Arsenal. when you're playing against a bank of 4 and a bank of 4. Because when they do that, when they do move it 1 and 2 touch, they've created the odd opportunity.
5 minutes to go until the break. It's been a really disciplined display from Everton. That's good play though. Here's Van der Donk, chance for Arsenal. Oh, and again, the block on the line from Miedema. Danger still not cleared. Surely now, another great save by Kirsty Lavelle. Unbelievable. Nobbs gets it back in. And again, this is incredible from Everton. Somehow they survive. Lavelle will just not be beaten.
Absolutely brilliant. Bodies on the line.
Another block. Van der Donk, and again. Mead loses out in the challenge of Gabby George. What a passage of play. How on earth have Arsenal not scored?
Wow. I thought this was a definite, and then it was blocked, and then Arsenal continued with their pressure. This time it was absolutely fantastic save from Lavelle. But you just talk about that commitment, that desire to get your body on the line, to block everything. They're working so well as a team. You know, how are they going to react when Andy Spence left? Well, they've certainly showed a good reaction so far.
Here's McCabe. Bryson clears. It was from McCabe's shot again, Kirsty Lavelle. She's going to be sick of the sight of her. Kirsty McCabe should have had a... Katie McCabe, rather. Could have had at least 2 goals.
Yeah. I'm so pleased for her that she's been able to respond like this, though.
It's a nice burst of pace. Cut back, and another decent save. This time from Jordan Nobbs.
They just have to remain focused, Everton. Get themselves to half-time. If they can get through to half-time at 0-0. Unbelievable performance, and that will give them great confidence going into the second half.
They're starting to get in behind the Everton defence now, aren't they? But they're just coming up against a superlative Kirsty Lavelle. Van der Donk. Here is McCabe. Mead, lovely play. Just a crowded penalty area, couldn't find an Arsenal teammate. They build again though. Nobbs towards Miedema! And another fantastic save. That is the pick of the bunch. Unbelievable display from Kirsty Lavelle. Absolutely incredible. I'm not even sure she can believe it.
I know.
Miedema, it deflects to Van der Donk, and there it is. That is heartbreaking for Everton, but finally Arsenal make the breakthrough. With just 2 minutes to go until half-time, Lavelle couldn't keep that one out.
Really feel for Everton and for Lavelle, because that save, you probably won't see a better save in the WSL this season. Such a reaction save. You know, Miedema does well, manages to spin, and it deflects out wide. They were calling for offside, it certainly wasn't. And just a real top quality strike into the top corner. Lavelle would have had absolutely no chance with that. But her save before that, unbelievable.
Onto the bar.
That was a goal all the way. You know, what a reaction. Miedema was so close to her. She was able to pull off that save, and they'll be gutted going in 1-0. Arsenal have had the opportunities, but the way that they've defended, just got to credit them.
This is the Lavelle save.
What a save that is.
And also the defending to follow
Yes,
up as
yeah.
well. That is a real gut punch for Everton. The target surely would have just been to get in at half-time. You can see absolutely gutted for Kirsty Lavelle. A virtuoso display from the Everton goalkeeper. I'm not sure you'll see better 45 minutes from a single player this season. It's another good delivery and a header away.
The problem when you're playing like a team like Arsenal, they've got so many top quality players that just have that little moment of magic.
So the final minutes of added time is over, and it is heartbreak for Everton. Kirsty Lavelle can't believe it. She pulled off save after save to keep Arsenal out, and with 90 seconds left, Danielle van der Donk, her strike just too strong for the Everton goalkeeper, too accurate, and so Arsenal make the breakthrough finally with just seconds of the first half remaining. It is deserved, you would say. Arsenal have been dominant, they've created good chances, but still a real punch in the gut right at the end of that first half for Everton, who defended so stoutly.
They did, and like you say, Arsenal dominated the game. They were the ones that looked the more likely to score, but you just have to credit Everton and how they set themselves up, the attitude, the desire that they had throughout the game, and you just thought if they could have gone in at half-time 0-0, it would have given them a huge amount of confidence, but you can't stop a shot like Van der Donk's right into the top corner.
So let's have a look at the major incidents from that first half then. A real dominant performance by Arsenal, a really good defensive display by Everton. The chances came thick and fast. Early on, Jordan Nobbs, and this was just a taster of things to come from Kirsty Lavelle, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was. I think that was, you know, where the ball got crossed in. It was chance after chance, but yeah, Lavelle was excellent. She stood up to so many things, and if she didn't, then her defenders were in the right place at the right time. It was real bodies on the line, and it's just that attitude, that desire to not let the ball go in the back of the net. I was really impressed with Everton defensively.
So McCabe was denied by Georgia Broom, and then a fantastic save by Kirsty Lavelle, and this is the pick, isn't it?
Oh, that is the pick, because it was so close. It was just a complete reaction save. I think we all thought it was going in. Miedemar often doesn't miss from there, and then obviously when it come out to Van der Donk, yeah, it was just a top-class strike in the top corner. I don't think, yes, you could say an Everton player should have got closer, but sometimes you just have to say well done and credit the forward for the strike.
So half-time here, 1-0 to the Arsenal eventually after a pretty dominant first half. The next 45 to come very shortly, but let's have a look at what happened yesterday, the only WSL game to take place on Saturday, Bristol against Liverpool, and here's what happened.
Onwards and upwards, or a season of transition, a quandary both Bristol City and Liverpool must have contemplated. Today could assist in a resolution. Graham winning it back for Bristol City. Opportunity to apply some pressure for the home side. Pattinson's cross. Clear to Badajide, who will look to lead the Liverpool charge forward. That's a super pass for Lynette to try and latch onto. Really well defended, though, by Frankie Brown. Graham forward. Lunging challenge backwards, but Bristol City sense an opportunity. Oh, that's a lovely turn, and the shot away as well from Ella Rutherford. Always rising, though.
Liverpool had left themselves a little bit light at the back there. Both full-backs had bombed on, and this is a good pick out there.
Beesman with the corner. That's a dangerous one, and it's a towering header. It just had to be again for Bristol City. The prolific Lucy Graham ends their goal drought, and the home side are in front.
So what a fantastic towering header that was from Graham, and heading with an attacking header, it's all about the intention and the desire to get to the ball, and you see that. You know, they were marking zonally right around the 6-yard box, but she coming, Lucy Graham, at that far post.
Comfortable save, but spilled, and on the rebound. Bundled in by Ella Rutherford, and Bristol City scored twice in no time at all.
It's not offside. As it comes away there, she's got no chance of getting on it as a goalkeeper, and Rutherford, to her credit, you know, she was right on the spot and make sure she was the one first to it.
Coombs delivers again. Testing one, not dealt with, and there is a goal back. Liverpool get on the score sheet, and it is Sweetman Kirk who has reduced the deficit. That is just what Liverpool needed.
As the ball comes back to Laura Coombs, the run of Lee Little just causes the Bristol defenders just to worry about what was going on. Leaves Courtney Sweetman Kirk at the back, just to guide it into the back of the net.
And how about the pass for Ayan? She's got support if she can get her head up and find it. Might not need any support at all.
Tell you what an effort that was.
Coombs with the corner, Bagley under pressure, and off the line.
Some good defending, and that must have been a close one in terms of how far off the line it was. It got ahead. I think it was Leander Little, real problems.
Babajide with Pattinson for company. Gets the cross in towards Sweetman Kirk, who can turn. Saved, but only as far as Daniels, and her effort is charged down. It'll be a free kick to Bristol City, but a potentially points-preserving save from goalkeeper Sophie Bagley.
Yeah, Sophie Bagley again. She's such an important player for Bristol, just pops up when they need her.
Bristol City hold on for what is a first win at home in WSL in more than 300 days. Big result for Tanya Oxtoby and her side. Bristol City move ahead of Liverpool in the table on the back of a 2-1 victory.
Really happy for the girls. They put in such a great performance today. It wasn't pretty football by any means, but I think they did what we asked of them, and we got the result, which so really pleased for them.
You know, we weren't good enough first half, so we have to look at that. We have to be better. For our standards, we know right the way through that we have to be better than that. That 45 minutes is something that we can't revisit again. But then the second half, we've come out and we've done really well. We've competed, and I couldn't fault our opportunities that we created in front of goal, but it just wasn't to be today, unfortunately.
Terrific results then for Bristol City, beating Liverpool by 2-1. Let's hear from a player who's having a terrific season for club and country. Now the WSL's leading goal scorer. We caught up with Manchester City and England forward Nikita Paris.
I think my celebration is a combination of joy, happiness.
Paris and a chance.
I think sometimes the excitement gets ahead of me, that I'm running away from my teammates, and then I run 20 yards the other way and then 20 yards back to celebrate with them.
Nikita Paris is officially the all-time leading goal scorer in the Women's Super League.
And I'm really honoured and humbled to be among many of the England greats of the WSL and the England team. Obviously, I've just surpassed any. Got Rachel Williams, Jordan Nobbs. Those girls are still playing in the league, so they can always catch me up. But I'm positive that I'll continue to score goals and hopefully they'll be burning at meals but not quite catch me. This is the derby, Everton-Liverpool.
Here's Paris. Oh, she went for the lob. Oh, what a goal!
I seen to keep it off the line, so I've gone for it. I didn't actually realise it was going to go in, to be honest, and I don't think Lorsey's too happy. The achievement's even better because I have played as a winger throughout my time at Manchester City, but early on in my days I started as a 9 for Everton, and I was a raw talent, I would say. Andy Spence used to have me watching videos of Thierry Henry and each and every week, and I'd come to training and I'd try different things. So no matter where to play, I want to score goals.
Lifted in by Christensen, free header, Nikita Paris.
I think my family are here, so I'm over-exaggerating the celebration. I seem to be scoring a lot of goals with headers throughout my time in the WSL. Considering my size, I'm always scoring a good header.
Up and almost away, but not quite, and Nikita Paris takes full advantage.
Look at the flip of the net. They snapped my neck trying to get the ball in the back of the net, but hey.
Nikita Paris. Oh, there she is! And that's a wonderful header from Nikita Paris.
I would say of all time, this is one of my favourite goals. For me, over the last 18 months, I've really honed in on just being calm and composed and really understanding my game and how I can get the best out of myself, but also my teammates around me. As long as the goals go in, I could reach the 90s, I could reach the 100s. It's all depending on how long I remain consistent and performing in front of goal.
Don't forget, you can watch all the highlights from today's WSL 1 games on the Women's Football Show tonight, BBC 1 at 11 o'clock, featuring a very special guest who's with Ailey Barber.
Well, we're here at Southport as well for the Women's Football Show tonight, and I'm delighted to be joined by a World Cup winner, former US international and Arsenal player Heather O'Reilly. Welcome, Heather, and welcome back to the UK. What brings you here?
Thanks. It's great to be back watching Arsenal women. Should be a great match today. I'm just back to watch good football. I've been to a bunch of games, went to Wembley to watch the US men's national team against England, and of course I went up to Scotland to see US national team versus Scotland, and of course I'm here to see my former teammates, Arsenal women, continue their very successful season. I made a joke that last year, I got the foundation set, and so that's led to their success this year, of course.
Yeah, it has been a brilliant start to the season, but let's talk a little bit about the season you've had over in the States, back to North Carolina Courage, and what a season it was.
Yeah, it was a wonderful team for me to be able to join. I was lucky to be able to join the best team in the league. My season here at Arsenal wrapped up at about May, so then I joined the North Carolina Courage when they were 11 points ahead in first place. So that was a treat for me, but kept them going, and we were able to win what would be the equivalent of the treble rather in US. We won the league, we won the championship, and we won the ICC Cup, which we were able to beat Lyon in the final of that. And yours truly.
Who scored that one?
Oh, you didn't even give me the layup for that. I was already going for it. But anyways, it was a wonderful season, and I'm happy to be able to come see a lot of games and stay connected to Arsenal and of course the entire WSL due to my time here.
Yeah, and just a few more medals for the old cabinet. That must be getting pretty full now.
Well, thanks for saying that. I do like winning things, and I've had a good run so far. Hopefully, maybe a few more in my bag.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty more to come. Let's take a little look back though at the World Cup that you won with the USA. I mean, it was incredible that it had been so long since the USA had won a World Cup, and then to go and win it practically on home soil. I mean, just across the border. I mean, it was an incredible final, incredible to be part of, I'm sure. And I mean, there must be a real sense of determination to go and win that and retain it over in France in the summer.
I know that the team wants to do it again. It was a wonderful experience for us to have. Being up in Canada was almost perfect for us because we didn't have the pressures of being the home nation, but we were, like you said, just about. So our family and friends were able to come. It wasn't a lot of travel for us to get there. And to win the World Cup was our dream. We had a lot of success during my tenure and sort of my generation's time with the national team, winning Olympic gold, being #1 in the world for nearly a decade. But that one title of winning the World Cup was sort of this elusive thing. And You know, my peers before me, Mia Hamm, Julie Foudy, these players that I really looked up to had done it in '99, and it was just the one thing off our CV that we just couldn't seem to do. And then, you know, 2015, we really sealed the deal, and we were able to bring it home. And I know for Abby Wambach and myself and Shannon Box, names like that had been carrying the U.S. team for so long, it was really rewarding to be able to finally get that championship. So I hope that the women can do it again next year in France. I'll be on the other side of the lines up there, but all fun. And yeah, hopefully the U.S., of course, I'm biased to the U.S. I think they have a wonderful opportunity to do it again.
Yeah, and you're a good supporter. We were sitting not far from each other up in Scotland in Paisley the other night, and yeah, certainly good at cheering on your national team. I heard you cheering.
Starting some fights there in the stands, I think.
Yeah.
Proud member of the team.
Yeah,
still.
no, well, it was a really good match, that one. And it's great to see you here, and we will be hearing from you in the Women's Football Show tonight. All the action from the weekend's WSL fixtures, 11 o'clock, BBC One.
Don't miss it, and much more from Heather O'Reilly tonight. BBC One, 11 o'clock on the Women's Football Show with Ailey. Here in Southport, the teams are back out for the second half. Arsenal leading Everton by a single goal to nil. And Sue Smith, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this second half, because, well, I'm sure Everton, they're not going to go gung-ho, are they, at this point anyway? But if they just held on until the break, it just would have put a different complexion on this game, wouldn't it?
Definitely, and it'd been a completely different team talk, wouldn't it, at half-time? They'll have to stay with exactly the same system as what they did in the first half. If they went gung-ho, if they committed players forward, then Arsenal would just exploit that. And you could see at times when they did commit a couple of players, whether the midfielder, you know, went forward and supported the two up top, they just play through you, Arsenal. They're so good at that. So I think stick with what you do, or what you were doing in the first half, and then if you get that opportunity, you have to take it, because they had a couple of opportunities. Everton maybe made the wrong decision, maybe not enough power on the shot, and you just think if they can test Van Veenendaal, she's not played very much this season.
Well, that's a good ball in behind. Here's Danielle van der Donk. Early opportunity in the second half for Arsenal. It's wide from Jordan Nobbs. So the objective will be to try and keep the score as it is, and then if they can do that, when the time is right, they can maybe commit a few more players forward. I mean, that's a big if, isn't it, for Jennifer Hurst and her charge as the interim manager today for Everton. I know there's 45 minutes to go, but in the build-up, Sue, you just said even a good performance would be acceptable for Everton, and they've certainly delivered that so far.
They have, and you just want your team to give their all, and that's exactly what they've done, especially from a defensive perspective.
I'm sure Joe Montemuro, though, would have had a few words with his players. He wouldn't have been happy with some of the link-up play, which just was a bit lacking in that first half, wasn't it?
It was a bit sloppy, and it's very unlike Arsenal. We haven't seen that this season. They've been so commanding in every single game, so fluid. But again, we praised Everton, credited them for making that happen. Just wonder, Arsenal have had a lot of players away on international duty. You know, are they a little bit, not just physically fatigued, but mentally as well?
Well, and a little bit stretched as well in personnel. It's a very similar starting 11. It's a good cross. Here's McCabe. We had a couple of very good chances in that first half. Miedemar. McCabe. Towards Jordan Nobbs, who was never going to really win that header from Gabby George. Pensive looking Joe Montemuro. Sure would have been very happy that his side went in at the break with a goal, but always consistently saying there's lots to work on. Hannah Kane offside, but not in the first instance. If that first pass had reached her.
Yeah, that was unlucky. That's what she'll do. She'll play on the shoulder. She's got that pace, like saying, and you think McGill will come in. She'll be your player that will go into that number 10 role, get on the ball, and Kane will use her pace to get in behind.
Van der Donk, flag stays down, Mead onside. Here's Jordan Nobbs, 2-0. Arsenal strike early in this second half. And Jordan Nobbs has her 9th goal of the season.
Good play again this time. Mead, she's on the right-hand side, gets the ball in the box. Miedemar very unselfishly just lays the ball to Jordan Nobbs, and she didn't snatch at it this time. She took a touch, set herself, gets herself onto a left foot. Just puts it on. I'm terrible with my left and my right. Gets it onto a left foot and just manages to slot it past Lavelle, who'd gone the opposite way. That was a cool finish from Jordan Nobbs. She's learnt from those 2 early chances in the first half.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Joe Montemuro and Arsenal. No doubt now, really, just you feel, from an Everton perspective, damage limitations, and Arsenal will just keep on coming, I'm sure. It was always going to be a big ask, and you feel that it was really only going to be a matter of time before Arsenal started firing once again, and it's the usual suspects, Van der Donk with the first, and Jordan Nobbs, who is 1 away from double figures already for the Women's Super League season. Oh, that's a poor pass. Miedemar's in, and it's 3. Georgia Brome with the error at the back for Everton, and Arsenal make it 3. Miedemar on the score sheet once again. She won't score too many easier than that. And Everton are now starting to fall apart. A far cry from the defensive work we saw in the first half.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes like this. You know, took too many touches. You could see what she was trying to do. Give the ball away. It just rebounded then to Miedemar, and she is not going to miss from there. Give her that sort of opportunity. She anticipates where the ball's going to go. Again, looks at the goalkeeper. Where is she? She again went down, and Miedemar just played it to the opposite side. My concern is the floodgates may open now. That inexperienced side, you know, they did so well until they conceded that goal, and then conceding so early on in the second half. Really need to show their character.
A really poor couple of minutes for Everton, but we've seen this on a number of occasions from Arsenal. When they get 1, they get 2 and 3, and they've done this to much more experienced and, with respect, sides that are much more in form than Everton. So no shame really, but I think both of those goals in the second half were fairly avoidable.
Particularly the second one, errors.
McCabe, could it get worse for Everton? Here's Nobbs. It's a late run by McCabe. Fairly challenged by Bryson.
They're ruthless, aren't they, Arsenal? Like I say, once they get 1, they then go for the second, the third. They all want to get on the team sheet. They're not content, you know, with just winning the game. They want to get more. And that's been instilled into them by Joe Montemuro.
And that goal difference is getting further and further away from Manchester City, who are their closest challengers, as we saw. But Arsenal also have a game in hand on them. No game for Manchester City this weekend. They're on the rest day. But very soon, a couple of weeks' time actually, it will be the big one. Manchester City against Arsenal on the 2nd of December.
Wow.
And it's now turning into a must-win really for Manchester City. Anything other than that, and I know it's early, but you suspect the title will be over.
What a game that will be. Well, I thought the Chelsea-Arsenal game would be a real decider, and I think we were all quite shocked with the scoreline there. And again, Arsenal just showing how ruthless they were in that game. Chelsea were in it, having opportunities, missed those opportunities. As soon as Arsenal got one, that was it.
That's right, they make you pay, don't they?
They really do. They seem a lot fitter than I've seen them in previous seasons as well. They can keep up an intensity for the entire 90 minutes.
We understand Everton are readying a substitution. Oh, and this might fall here for Hannah Kane. Well, she was in a really good position, Kane, and she struck it well, and I think she wants a corner. Just fell for her.
Really did. Great opportunity. Better from Everton, actually. It was, I think the ball just came across to her. I don't think it was a corner. I think the referee got that one right. Has to do better, though. I said if you get an opportunity. And unfortunately for Hannah Kane and Everton, that opportunity was missed.
Just a flicker of hope, though. Arsenal have shown that they do give up a few chances because of their attacking nature. They did in the first half. They weren't punished, and again, they weren't punished on that occasion either. But we heard from Nikita Paris at half-time. That's the sort of chance she would have gobbled up. Another good save from Kirsty Lavelle.
I love that, the goalkeeper straight away shouting at the defenders. And I suppose rightly so, she's had so much to do. It's a shot from distance, one she should save.
Van der Donk. Williamson. Definite foul by James. Just showing a bit of frustration. It's a lovely ball. McCabe, though, is offside.
Substitution for Everton. Please show your appreciation.
And so here comes the substitution.
To be replaced by number 9, Claudia Walker.
Nessa Kargman is making way for Claudia Walker.
She'll inject a bit of energy into the Everton side. She'll work hard. Want to get on the ball, want to make things happen.
Be interested to see what sort of position she takes up. They're going to keep with the 4-4-2. Looks like she is taking her place alongside Hannah Kane up there. 4 goals this season, Claudia Walker. 1 in the WSL.
I think McGill will just drop back, won't she?
It's a good play by McGill to hold it up. Walker. Van Veenendaal has found her place under pressure this season. Only her 3rd appearance in all competitions this season. 1 in the WSL, 1 in the Continental Cup. It's the French goalkeeper Pauline Perrin-Manning who has dropped to the bench this afternoon.
That's just to give Van Veenendaal some minutes. Manning's done really well. She looks solid, very commanding.
The ball for Claudia Walker to chase. Well, the scoreline has a much more reflective look about it from the passage of play. Everton's goal led a charmed life in that first half. Just the one goal Arsenal scored right at the end, and 2 quick-fire ones at the beginning of this second half. It's a swing and a miss from Hannah Kane. Everton maintain possession. Straight at Van Veenendaal, who gets things going immediately with Williamson.
I think all the way through the season we've been thinking, will Arsenal slip up? They've got a tough game today. They've got to maybe slightly change their tactics to beat a team. When they played Birmingham before the international break, I thought, could that be a slip up? They were able to overcome a very good Birmingham side who are difficult to beat. And again, I wondered today, would this be tough for them psychologically, coming back off a lot of players being away internationally? Will they be as up for it against a team that are bottom of the table? And yet, so far so good for Arsenal.
Yep, looks like they're going to march on and increase their lead at the top. There's an Everton player down. Looks like Gabby George. Pretty innocuous clash.
That's not what you want to see.
And she's going to receive some treatment.
Seems to be her lip, doesn't it? Whether it was just a stray arm or I don't think it was anything.
Let's have a look.
Malicious. Yeah, it is. Just an arm to the face, wasn't it? She slid in for the ball.
It's a painful one, but don't think there was any intent there.
No, not at all. And she'll be okay, which is a good thing. She might not have a few pictures for a while. No selfies.
Not sure that'll stop her. She'll wear it with pride, I'm sure. Jennifer Hurst, the interim manager. Not sure how long she'll be in charge for. I'm sure Everton will want to appoint someone permanent sooner rather than later.
Yeah, just to give them that stability so that the players know where they're at, you know, who's coming in, who's going to take us for the rest of the season. It's always difficult when it's an interim manager.
Good feet. A very tight situation from Bloodworth. Now Nobbs. Easy for Lavelle. Van der Donk wins the foul.
She's only small, Van der Donk, but she's so tenacious. You can see even when she gets brought down, there's a little smile. See, she's probably thinking, I'll get you back soon. I like that about her, though. You know, quality on the ball, but she's also got that little bit about her, that bit of bite.
The booking for Chloe Kelly. Just wonder if that's the totting up or if she said something, because it didn't look too bad, did it?
No. Seemed like there was two players coming together.
She is a player that's booked quite a lot, actually, Chloe Kelly. I just wonder if she struggles with her emotions sometimes, as we all do.
Saying nothing.
Trying to keep your mouth shut when you just can't help have a word with the referee on certain issues. But it was a great moment for her coming on against Austria, being blooded by Phil Neville. She wasn't even named in the senior squad, but she had been training with the team at St George's Park, and you could see she was absolutely made up to come on, even though it was only for a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll have been a dream of hers from being a young girl to represent her country at senior level. So, you know, when that actually happens, it is such a proud moment. I'm sure her friends and family were there as well. And she'll probably want more now. And that's what's good about Phil Neville, that he does give players opportunities if they're playing well, if they're young players coming through, gives them that chance.
Yeah, he's shown he's very keen to do that.
It means also the older players, or the players that have been there for a while, don't think, oh well, we're okay, we've got our positions and they're sorted. It's constant competition, which is what you need.
It's good pressure by Hannah Kane, who's usually part of the England under-20 setup, although it's been a bit of a reshuffle, isn't there? Now it's the under-21s. Taking notes, I wonder if it's the referee's assessor, perhaps. She's done a good job today. Referees, of course, been very much in the news this week in the women's game.
Yeah, I think she's done well. Can't think of any decisions we've had a moan at.
Knobs. Oh, and it's another for Vivienne Miedema. She cannot stop scoring, the Dutch international, and it's those two again linking up. And a lovely finish from Miedema. And it's 4 for Arsenal.
It's far too easy from an Everton defensive perspective. You know, that's easy, no pressure on the cross from Jordan Nobbs. Easily finds a pass, picks Miedema out, and again, no pressure, easy for her to just finish the ball. It's totally different to the first half, where Everton were committing players, bodies on the line. You'd have 2-3 players diving on that. Just seems like the heads have gone a little bit. Which is a real shame.
It was such an impressive first half from Everton, as you said. It's just the heads have dropped a little bit. And to be fair to them, you know, it's mentally exhausting as well as physically, isn't it, when you don't have the ball a lot?
Oh, it is, yeah. And it always makes you more tired when you're chasing, when you're having to defend. It's that concentration of, where do I need to be now? Where's the player next to me? Trying to stop that space. When you've got the ball, you've got all the energy in the world. So I'm sure it was. And then when you concede a goal, then when you concede another one, it's difficult. You need those that's where you need those experienced players. You don't have to be old to be experienced, you know?
Absolutely.
You just need to be a leader in that team.
And that is, by my calculations, goal number 50 for Arsenal in all competitions this season already.
Good maths.
I may be wrong. I don't trust my maths.
But that's unbelievable, isn't it? It's got to be around there if it isn't. And again, maybe another clean sheet. That's something that they've really worked on, isn't it? They're tightening up. And considering they are so attacking, it's even more impressive. They haven't conceded more.
Miedema is on another hat-trick. She's already scored 3 in all competitions this season, 2 in the WSL. And with over 20 minutes to go, wouldn't put it past her to notch another one today. And I think the other thing is that this Arsenal side, if they're winning 4-0, they're not taking their foot off the gas still, are they?
No, they won't. They'll be looking for more goals.
Miedema scored in both legs in the playoff for the World Cup against Switzerland. Her record for her country is simply incredible. 53 goals in 68 appearances for the Netherlands. That's a lovely ball over the top. Hannah Kane just let it run a little bit too far, and Van Veenendaal just snatched it from her. It's another good opportunity for Kane.
Yeah, she had loads of opportunities. You can see she's looking, where's the goalkeeper, where's the goalkeeper? And by the time she's done that, Van Veenendaal, so experienced, off a line, straight away she's on it. You don't have that much time and space to be able to think like that. But what a ball from James. That's the ability that she's got. Technically very gifted and can see a pass. She's just not had enough of the ball to be able to do that, and enough of the runners, I suppose.
It looked like she just hesitated a little bit and was maybe too worried about who was behind her rather than really trying to get onto the ball. It's just that little lack of experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good movement. Miedema tees it up and it's deflected behind.
I suppose if you look at a positive for Kane is the fact she's getting herself into those positions. You know, it's just about that final execution now. So, you know, making sure you make that shot or that pass or whatever it may be.
Substitution for Arsenal. It's one of the teenagers who's coming on, but one who's actually made an appearance before for the senior side. Eva Kaiken is ready to come on. She's made 2 sub-appearances before, and she's on for Emma Mitchell, the Arsenal left-back, for the final 20 minutes of this game. Midfielder by trade. She's being eased into the senior setup. Nobbs with the corner, just towards Quinn. Kelly was just trying to find the run of Claudia Walker. And McGill is furious she's been pulled up for that. Here's Mead. Well read by Gabby George. Still a long way to go of the season. We've been talking about Arsenal's title credentials, but down the bottom it's going to be a real dogfight to try and avoid relegation. It could be a real disaster if Everton do. Yeovil, of course, got their first win against Everton last weekend, which has given them a huge boost. Another sub for Everton. Elise Hughes is ready to come on. Hannah Kane, who has had a couple of good opportunities, hasn't taken them. And so an even younger player in Elise Hughes will come on, 17-year-old Welsh international.
Again, a young player with lots of potential.
And that's the sort of man or woman they'll be looking for in terms of guiding these young players to safety in the WSL. The remit's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Got to try and develop these young players.
It's interesting to draw the comparison with Bristol City, who have a pretty young team as well, although perhaps they have a few more older players in that starting 11, the likes of Frankie Brown, who've been there for a very long time. They have just a couple dotted in. But I think I heard Tanya Ox, to be the Bristol City manager, talking about using psychologists for her young players, because I actually think a lot of it is mental, isn't it? Because technically they're probably not that far behind most of these teams that they come up against in this league. It's just the belief, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. And Tanya Oxtoby's actually got a psychology degree, so she's really into that. She's really into making sure that her team do believe that they can play against anyone, beat anyone. You go a goal down, you know how to react, and that is something that maybe Everton do need to work on, because like you said, there's some good players here, lots of potential. We've seen snippets, haven't we, of real good quality, but you know, they went a goal down, they went 2 goals down, and then it just seemed like the heads dropped. They had the opportunities, only half opportunities, but again, if you could have put one of those away, could things have been different? And yet, belief is a massive part of football.
In game, but also in the build-up to a game, isn't it? Because we all do it. We all look at who are we facing next, where are they in the table. If you see your next opponent is top of the table, scoring goals for fun and not really conceding, you can almost lose it before you kick a ball, can't you?
100%, yeah. We had it with Germany when I played for England. You know, we all said we believed we could beat them, but actually, did we? And as soon as we went a goal down, did we then think, oh, here we go again, this always happens? And that's why I was so pleased when England actually beat Germany, because then you've got over that barrier. And it's yes, of course, physically and tactically, technically, football is huge, but yeah, your mind is such a valuable part of being a very good footballer, and probably the difference between being good and being very good.
Here's George. He's just overrun that, his Bloodworth. Mead. Still going. It's a good run by Kelly. Can't find Hughes. Now space for Jordan Nobbs, directing the traffic from midfield. It's a good run by James. Claudia Walker's there. Walker! Couldn't keep it down. That was a really nice passage of play from Everton, and again the finish is lacking.
And that's what we mean, they've got that little bit of quality. They keep showing it in patches. This is really good play. James again in the build-up. Does well to pick out Walker, but it's just that final execution isn't quite there.
Another substitution for Arsenal, a big moment for a Arsenal debutant in Paige Bailey-Gale, an under-17 England international who's coming on for her first appearance for the senior team. On for Danielle van der Donk. The goal scorer who got things going for Arsenal. That's really good closing down by Chloe Kelly. Goes for the spectacular. She is capable.
Do you know, it wasn't actually a bad effort. She could see Van Veenendaal wasn't quite in the right position. You know, good closing down initially, but then the awareness to see that was an option. Just couldn't quite get the direction on the shot. I suppose we can't forget as well that Everton are without Siri Vorm, you know, Dutch international fullback, and also their captain, Dan Turner. You know, they're 2 players that would be starting. So, and I know Arsenal are missing players, but I think when you're a team that, you know, you are young, you are inexperienced, you need those players that have that experience. You know, Dan Turner brings a lot to the side.
I think she's their oldest player, actually, by some distance as well. She's not saying much.
She's probably only about 25.
Yeah.
But has played in the league at the top level for a lot of years.
It's Miedemar. Kuiken. Oh, Jordan Nobbs looks in a bit of pain. Now this could be bad for Arsenal.
Oh, no.
And you can see by the look on Joe Montemuro's face, this could be bad news. They are already light on midfielders.
Yeah, it's a real concern. I think when you just wonder if she twisted her knee a little bit. Really hope she hasn't. Kelly didn't do anything wrong. She was just going for the ball really innocently, and sometimes they're the worst, aren't they, when you just twist funny. You think what's happened to Kim Little, you just pray that it's okay for Jordan Nobbs.
Well, his facial expression says it all, and this is not good news. The stretcher is on.
You know, you can tell when a player goes down and they don't move. You know that it's something, not just a little knock or...
Kim Little still in the middle of her recovery from a broken tibia, and this looks very concerning for Jordan Nobbs. And the oxygen is out as well. Concern on everyone's faces.
You can see everyone looks concerned, and it's horrible when one of your teammates goes down like that and you think it's serious. It is a worry.
Well, for club and country, of course, because, well, let's not speculate on what it might be. Let's just hope that it's not as bad as it looks from here.
Well, I think there was a similar one with Kira Walsh at Manchester City, and she went down, and I think everybody feared the worst, and thankfully I don't think that was too bad. Because I think sometimes with your knees as well, you worry, you panic, you think, you know, it's something straight away, and so you just hope that it's one of those that's really painful, but actually, you know, it's not a serious one.
We'll just have to wait and see what the Arsenal camp have to say about it, but with Kim Little, as we say, already missing. Let's hope this is just a precaution, the stretcher, but another fresh face looking to come on for Arsenal then. Looks like the third teenager, Ruby Grant, is ready to come on for her debut as well.
Can't actually believe the amount of injuries that Arsenal have had. Considering their form and how good they've been. The amount of injuries and the players to come back is unbelievable, really.
So the applause from every supporter in Southport, Everton and Arsenal, and hoping that Jordan Nobbs will be back out as soon as possible. And so a third and final substitution. Ruby Grant is on, another teenager for Arsenal. But it just shows they really are down to the bare bones. In the Arsenal camp, Tabia Kemmer has had a setback with her injury. Victoria Schnaderbeck hasn't even made her debut yet since signing in the summer. Dan Carter still out, and of course, as we mentioned, Kim Little. So really big players. And Jordan Nobbs might be added to that list.
Yeah, well, those young players on the bench, they'll have just been there for experience, and, you know, will have wanted to have used them just 10 minutes here and 5 minutes there, just to give them that confidence of playing at this level. And, you know, he's not going to want to have to start them every single week. It's a lot of pressure.
A bit hesitant from Louise Quinn. She's got away with it. Well, the other 2 o'clock games in the WSL have kicked off. Birmingham against West Ham United, Brighton against Reading, and Chelsea against Yeovil. Make sure you tune in tonight on the Women's Football Show, 11 o'clock on BBC One, for all the highlights from those games with Ailey Barber and very special guest Heather O'Reilly, World Cup winner, former Arsenal player as well. Well, as for Everton, the next 2 Sundays, they are away at Reading and then at home to Liverpool, and then away to Liverpool, actually, a few days later in the Continental Cup. So a couple of derbies in quick succession, but a couple of games there. Reading, who are a little bit patchy, aren't they? Never really know what you're going to get with them this season, at least. And then Liverpool, who are struggling of late as well. Another team who are struggling for goals, really, so that could be a big game, couldn't it?
Massive game. Yeah, Reading have been a little bit inconsistent. Like you say, some games you watch them and you think, wow, absolutely brilliant, should be challenging for the top, and then other games don't quite turn up, and I'm not sure why that is. You know, very good players, good manager and coach. I suppose that just sometimes happens in a season, doesn't it? You don't get that consistency throughout. Liverpool will be a huge game that Everton will feel that they can get something from, as will Liverpool. Derbies are always good as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's just evaded Claudia Walker. Nice play over on the far side. Well, it's a bit sloppy. Another good chance, this time for Elise Hughes of Everton. They have had them.
They have. You can probably think of 3 or 4 throughout the second half in particular. She anticipated that really well. You've seen where the ball was coming. It was just a snapshot, which again you have to do against Arsenal, and just got it wide.
They've just failed to hit the target when they've needed to. Georgia Broham just caught the challenge.
Go closer.
It's bounced nicely for McGill, and vital touch to take it to the goalkeeper.
So what the Arsenal fans have not stopped singing for the entirety of this game.
One in particular, I think.
Yeah.
He'll be so pleased with the result, won't he? But I think long term he's going to be really concerned by the state of his squad and the lack of options.
Well, they've had to really battle this out, haven't they? The first half particularly. You always thought that they would score, you always thought that they would create opportunities, but just thought it might have been Everton's day at one point.
Here's the substitutes, Grant.
You can actually see when Jordan Nobbs went down, he banged the chair, you know, because that's a huge blow. even if she's out for one game, it's, you know, you don't want to lose players like her who's so influential in the side, like Kim Little, and it's just, now it's just that build-up, isn't it?
Finnegan. Good burst by Williamson. Miedemar crowded out. And there will be a lot of stoppage time at the end of this second half. It'll be 5 minutes at the end of this second half because of that lengthy injury to Jordan Nobbs. It's Grant. Miedemar. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Paige Bailey-Gale just couldn't quite latch onto it.
What a moment that would have been for her if she could have scored there. Miedemar, great ball in between the centre-half and the full-back. One of those no-look passes. Actually, Shani Boy Halorka just did enough, just got a touch.
It's an underrated part of Miedemar's game. Everyone goes on about her goal scoring, but she likes to drop deep on occasion, doesn't she, and link up. Here's Kelly. Hughes up ahead, try and go alone, and she draws the foul.
Yeah, it was a foul. You know, she does well, quick feet. And initially there was that pull back, and then I think it was just a clip by Quinn.
Opportunity then in stoppage time for Everton. It's the first time they've had a free kick in this sort of position. And only one player over the ball in Chloe Kelly. It is Kelly. And it's an easy take for Van Veenendaal.
She managed to get it over the wall, but she went where Van Veenendaal was. You just wondered if she could have whipped it into the other corner. It's a difficult technique. It's easy for me to say sitting here, but you just think that Van Veenendaal was a bit more over that side. It was a bit easier to collect. Kelly's certainly been a good outlet for Everton. She's worked really hard. Defensively, she's had to get back and cover, but when she's had the opportunity to go forward, she's been probably their main threat, I would say.
Only 20 years old, but she has really become a leader in this Everton team, and a big decision for her to leave Arsenal and move all the way up north to Everton permanently. It was initially a loan deal, but she decided she wanted to stay. Clearly would have got more game time at Everton. So really admirable decision to make that move. That's nice play from Bailey-Gale. A teasing ball in, which is cut out by Brougham.
Yeah, I applaud any player that does that, you know, rather than sitting on a bench and maybe getting 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. She's come to Everton and been a real vital part of their side. You know, wants to play football, that's the most important thing. And you have got to uproot. I know it's only a few hours down the motorway, but still a big thing from a young player to be away from your family. I'm sure the Scousers looked after her.
Oh, sure you would, you lot. Beautiful people. Here is Miedemar. Arsenal going to finish with a flourish. It's just about cleared by Everton. And Brougham manages to intercept because Miedemar was racing ahead in the hope that it would reach her. 2 goals, 2 minutes for her to try and notch her hat-trick. McCabe. That's a foul. And a bit of afters as well. It's reflective mood for Joe Montemuro. It's particularly galling, isn't it, when it's a really just innocuous thing that happened right in the middle of the centre circle. No real challenge from Chloe Kelly, and it's just unlucky, isn't it?
Really is. Yeah, there was no force really from Chloe Kelly. It was just she was just trying to get the ball, wasn't she? And it just meant that Jordan Nobbs just twisted her a little bit funny.
Walker tried to slip it through to Hughes. Miedemar goes down. Bryson wasn't sure if that was the right decision.
I think Miedemar just told her off.
Oh, that's a lovely ball. And the angle just got a bit too tight. Nice play by Bailey Gale. Maybe the final chance of the game here for Arsenal from this corner kick. Miedemar. Mead. Great play. Miedemar's away here. Just presented it to the Everton defence. And that is it. Another comprehensive win for Arsenal and Joe Montemuro, but a costly one. Jordan Nobbs looks like she's got a pretty nasty injury. We'll have to wait and see what news on the England and Arsenal midfielder. But another sparkling display from Miedemar, another couple of goals for her to take her tally in the WSL to 13 goals. And Everton remain bottom, but positives to take, especially from that first half.
Definitely, they were a completely different side in the second half to the first half. I thought first half they really were so organised, so defensively disciplined. They were throwing their bodies on the line. The goalkeeper Lavelle was excellent, and you just thought this could be their day. You know, maybe Arsenal just aren't firing, maybe, you know, Everton would just get that one moment, that one opportunity, but they can take those positives. They created opportunities against such a top side like Arsenal, so they'll take that away, they'll take that performance away, especially in the first half, into the next game, and hopefully pick something up.
And a word on Kirsty Lavelle, because if you only just tuned in for that second half, you wouldn't have seen her put in one of the displays of the WSL season, that first 45, save after save, and some really top world-class ones as well.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Some of the, you know, the save from Miedemar, which was a header, close range, great agility, athleticism to get across and touch it onto the bar, and the fact she was coming off the back of a mistake against Yeovil. The character that she's shown to bounce back and have a performance like that, she deserves a massive amount of credit, as does the whole team for that first half performance.
Let's get some reaction then from the winning team. Beth Mead is with Ailey Barber.
Beth, congratulations. The run continues. Another fantastic performance. Clean sheet, 4 goals. Pretty good day at work.
Yeah, it was. I mean, probably at our standards, it wasn't our perfect performance. I think we got a little bit frustrated first half. The pleasing thing, we were creating chances, we just weren't putting them away. I thought, credit to Everton, they defended very well, put the bodies on the line, but once again, we got a win, and that's what we need to keep doing.
There seems to be a real patience about the team right now. I mean, we've seen it in previous games when teams have sat in and made it difficult for you to break them down. There seems to be a real patience that the goal will come.
Yeah, I think we know we've got the quality to create chances, like I said, so I think that's key. We've got to be patient. Teams are defending well against us, and we know that now, so yeah, it's pleasing to know that we're still creating chances and getting goals when players and teams are playing quite a low press against us.
6 points clear at the top with Manchester City not playing this weekend. How much is the belief just growing week in, week out at this amongst the squad that this year it could be Arsenal's year?
I think if you told us that at the start of the season, we'd have bit your hand off. So no, it's really pleasing for us. I think we've worked really hard. We've got the transition right with Joe, and we're really enjoying playing in front for him and in front of the fans, and that's showing in our games.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well done again today. I'll let you go inside for the team talk. Cheers, Beth.
Thank you.
Beth Mead with Ailey Barber there, and much more reaction and all the highlights from today's top 2 of the women's game in the WSL on the Women's Football Show tonight at 11 o'clock on BBC One. Thank you very much for staying with us this afternoon. Another win. The Gunners keep on firing, and they now go 6 points clear at the top of the WSL table, while Everton stay bottom. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you again very soon.